This is Valley News Live at noon.
The Food and Drug Administration has approved an additional COVID-19 vaccination dose for people with certain medical conditions. The FDA says a third dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine may increase protection in those that are immunocompromised or have undergone a solid organ transplant. Previously, only 2 doses have been authorized by the FDA for emergency use in patients 12 years and older. The Center for Disease Control's advisory board is meeting today to discuss more recommendations for those with weak immune systems. Happening right now in Fargo, the Board of Health is about to meet and discuss the city's COVID guidance. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney told us last week that he is not considering another mask mandate because the numbers just didn't warrant it. However, since we spoke to him on August 4th, the number of new cases per day has jumped from about 500 to nearly 1,000. If you want to tune in to the meeting, it's streaming on the City of Fargo Facebook page. We'll keep you updated as well on this story throughout the afternoon online and, of course, also on your VNL News app. The Pentagon is sending roughly 3,000 American troops to Afghanistan's capital to help evacuate U.S. Embassy employees. This comes as the Taliban continues to gain ground in the country just before U.S. troops officially withdraw. Here's how military experts in Minnesota are reacting to the decision.
Just weeks before the planned U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, the Taliban is making major ground, and the U.S. is airlifting embassy employees out.
We believe this is the prudent thing to do, given the rapidly deteriorating security situation in and around Kabul.
Security seemingly deteriorating after decades of U.S. involvement. Mike McElhenney first stepped foot in Afghanistan nearly 20 years ago.
We were the first team to go in and be on the ground consistently in southern Afghanistan after 9/11.
For him, though he feels it's time to withdraw, it's surreal to watch things unravel after he and so many others made incredible sacrifices.
Basically blew my chest open. I lost my right arm below the elbow, which is my dominant arm. 72 or 82 stitches in my face, internal and external. Yeah, we did a lot of work, and there was a lot of, blood and treasure spilled over there.
We are watching the collapse of the Afghan government. I think the Taliban's objective is power and control.
Dipali Mukhopadhyay is a senior expert on Afghanistan for the U.S. Institute of Peace. She says many experts agree withdrawal was inevitable, but says the way it was done left gaps.
What I think is really shocking is the irresponsibility of the speed of the withdrawal and the lack of planning for contingencies like this one.
Now she says experts will wait to see if Kabul will hold, knowing there'll be immediate suffering for the people of Afghanistan and questions about what, if anything, the U.S. could have done to prevent this.
I think the possibilities for Afghanistan becoming again a sanctuary and a safe haven for violent extremists from all over the world is incredibly high. That's a really shocking disappointment of an outcome after 20 years.
Erin Hassanzadeh, WCCO 4 News.
The Pentagon says full U.S. combat troop withdrawal from Afghanistan is still on track to be completed by August 31st. Some people started off the morning in the 30s, but it is warming up, thankfully. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green to see what we can expect on this Friday afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, we're warming up. It's looking good out there, and that's nice. After a little taste of fall this morning, here's a look at some of those low temperatures that we saw. These are preliminary lows. 37 in Foston. That's our lowest number on the map. 39 in Bemidji, up in Hallock, and over in Langdon. So some pretty low numbers there. Luckily, we stayed above freezing, but we got dangerously close to being on the frosty side in Foston. Southern Valley, not as chilly, but still some 40s. That might have had you turning on the heater in your car this morning, or maybe adding that extra layer. Temperatures are recovering. We're in the 60s and 70s right now. 74 in Fargo, 72 in Grand Forks. It's 67 in Thief River Falls. Fergus Falls, another area into the low 70s. To kick off our afternoon with that blue sky in the background. Here's the wind again. It's not done with us yet, out of the northwest, and we're seeing gusts into the 20s. That's likely where we'll stay as far as gusts are concerned, so not as strong as we saw yesterday. Mostly sunny skies, a few of those puffy clouds up around the Lake of the Woods area. So here's a look at our hourly planner for Fargo. We're going to see those temperatures rising back into some upper 70s, especially in the Southern Valley today. And we've got more heat coming our way for the weekend. I'll have your details in just a couple of minutes.
Sounds great. Thank you, Lisa. The nation's top agriculture official is chiming in on our drought conditions in Minnesota. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack spent the day in Cannon Falls yesterday with Senator Amy Klobuchar and other lawmakers. New drought numbers show 42% of Minnesota is under exceptional dry conditions. That's up from 35% just last week. That report also shows much of North Dakota at extreme drought levels. We have new information on a story we brought you this morning on the Valley Today. A teenage boy has died after a lightning strike at a New York beach sent half a dozen people to the hospital. It happened on Orchard Beach, close to the shore, as strong storms swept through the area. The 13-year-old was one of 6 people sitting on the sand as the storms arrived. He was severely injured and having a heart attack when emergency crews arrived. Police confirmed the boy died at the hospital. Beachgoers said the storm came out of nowhere, sending people scrambling for safety. And a tragic story out of Florida, where a mother is accidentally shot and killed while on a Zoom conference call. Police in Almonte Springs say the 21-year-old woman was shot in the head by her toddler earlier this week. Someone on the Zoom call phoned police after hearing a loud noise and seeing the woman fall backwards. Investigators say it appears one of the woman's 2 young children found a loaded gun that was left unsecured in the apartment and shot her. Police say this all could have been avoided and issued a warning to parents who keep firearms in their homes.
To anyone and everyone tuning into this story, if you own a firearm, please keep it locked and secured. Incidents like this could be avoided.
Police say the 2 young children, including the one who fired the gun, were not harmed, and they are now in the care of relatives. Today, crews are expected to finally start cleaning up and fixing the railroad tracks where a train derailed in Walsh County. The train jumped the tracks Wednesday just north of Grafton, and it has been blocking the intersection ever since. The Walsh County emergency manager says work on it starts today. No word, though, on how long it could take. The investigation into the cause of the derailment is ongoing. Coming up at noon, a new way to give your kids an allowance. Rewards for doing chores or getting good grades are just a swipe away. But first, a check of your Friday forecast. After a cool start to the day, a pretty nice Friday is on the way. We'll get a check of your Friday forecast, plus look at the weekend ahead.